Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Adama Kenneth. If you're new here, welcome. I am a professional makeup artist based in Lagos, Nigeria. Today's video is going to be a brow tutorial. This is one of my most highly requested videos, and I know there's a lot of brow videos here on YouTube, but I haven't done one before, and I still was getting a lot of questions about brows, so I decided to do a brow video for you guys. For someone who, when I was starting off as a makeup artist, I used to be so terrified of doing brows. You guys have no idea. So when I see people say that they struggle with brows, it really hits home because I honestly understand that struggle, which is why in this tutorial I tried as much as possible to make it easy. Getting your brows right shouldn't be hard. It's 2021. I don't want my girls to still be having a difficult time getting their brows right. So I hope that you find this video helpful. I hope that you find this technique easy as well, because I really wanted it to be very beginner friendly. I really wanted it to hit home for someone who is terrified about brows like I used to be, and you know that after you watch this video you will sort of feel confident that you too can get perfect brows without stressing too much. Also, at the time of filming this video, I couldn't get a model that had sparse brows because I really wanted to do this tutorial on someone that didn't have a lot of brow hairs, but I had to work with the model that I had. Without rambling on for too long, let's dive right into it. So the first thing you want to do when trying to achieve full feathered brows is to look at your brows and see if you need to groom it. You can groom your brows either by threading or waxing, or just using a razor or like a brow hair remover. So I'm just going to brush up the hairs. So you want to see where there's excess hairs, and that's pretty much the only hair I'm going to take out. You do not always have to take out hair. Only take out when there's, like, you know, stray strands. And just gently take out the excess hair from her brow bone area. So I'm just going to do the exact same thing to the other brow. So after taking out the hairs from underneath, I'm going to brush down the hairs as well and also take out the excess. To achieve perfect brows, you literally only need a spoolie, a tool to groom your brows. In this case, I used a razor. If your brows are already groomed, you don't need to do this step. And I also like to bend the spoolie a bit because I find that it just gets in between the hairs better. So then you need the brow product of your choice. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be using a brow pencil, but you can use a brow pomade or a brow powder. So first, you want to brush up the hair so you see what you're working with. After that is done, usually I would do brows after I have done skin and my base, but in this tutorial, because it's a brow tutorial, I haven't done anything on her face, so I would apply a bit of powder on the brows. If I was doing base first, I would already have product on her brow area, but because I'm doing her brows first, I'm going to go in and apply powder on the brows. Now what this does is it helps to just prep that area and make it ready for you to apply your product, as opposed to applying it directly on bare skin. This also helps to mattify the area for some people that have oily brows. So this is also very good as well. I'm going to go in and brush my brows again, and then start from the tail and just start to fill it in. I would just recommend that you look at your brows, look directly in front of a mirror and just start to fill in. So just start from the tail. The tail part of the brow is usually the part that has less hairs for most people. So it's best to start from the tail. A guide to know where to end your brow is to kind of look straight ahead into your mirror. Draw like an imaginary line from where your eyes end. Fill in up to that point. That will be the point that will be best for you to end your brows. Depending on your face shape, your eye shape, these points will be different for everyone. So I'm just going to gradually work my way up towards the front area, still combing the hairs upwards as I go and just filling it in towards the front. When I get to the beginning, I'm just going to stop filling. And notice that in these other parts, I'm literally almost drawing a line, but not drawing it full on. I'm filling it in, but then placing the product more towards the base. So the inner part of the brows, I'm just using very tiny, almost shading strokes. So for this part, I'm just going to do the exact same thing on the second brow, starting from the tail area and filling in gently. The pressure with which I am applying the product inside the brows is different from the pressure with which I'm applying it around the base, this part. So when I get towards the outer corners, like the outer and the inner corner, I sort of use more pressure, but then when I'm going in, I'm applying in like a shading motion. So it's actually not difficult, it's just shade inside. But then when you're shading, use a very light hand. Don't use too much pressure. And then don't forget to brush the hairs up to make sure that you're getting into all of the areas. So I'll just work my way forward, and then when I get towards the front part of the brows, I'll stop. So I'll literally stop like around here. So this part, especially for people that have more hair, I would literally not apply any product there. After you are done filling the brows, you want to then go to the end. Remember that part where we didn't apply any product? You want to then go and apply only underneath. So sort of like draw out a soft, very soft line underneath the hairs, and do the same thing for the other side as well. Remember this part we have nothing on, and then on top of here we also have nothing on. So you only draw out a line under this part and under this part. Feel free to go back and look at your brows. If you're doing brows on a client, take like a few steps back from time to time and look at, you know, what you have done, because when you're like up close, it can be hard for you to tell if the brows are similar or if you've missed out any spots. If you're doing brows on yourself, you know, you might probably have like a close-up mirror in front of you. So try to look at like a far mirror to see if, you know, the shape that you have gotten, if you are okay with it, if the brows are looking similar, if there's any spots that you have missed. If you're fine with it at this point, then you can proceed to the next step. The next product I'm going to be using is the Brow Tamer by Tamer Essentials. Now you can use any brow holding product that you have or you like. This particular one is the one I'm going to be using. I prefer Brow Tamers because it sort of grips to the hair better, especially for when you're trying to achieve like a feathered brow look. I find that soap brows might be a bit exhausting to work with, because you know you have to apply the liquid or apply the spray first and then go in. But if that's what you use and you prefer that, you know, that's okay. So I'm just going to take a little of that product. You don't need too much, and I'll use the spoolie and apply. And how I'll apply this is to just gently brush up the hairs with the part that has the product. Don't forget the other brow. So everything you do in this one, you just repeat. The next thing you want to do is to define the brows. If you have carefully filled in your brows, you might not even need to actually define the brows, especially if it's just like a quick out of the door. I'm not wearing makeup, I just want my brows done. But if you want to define the brows, I'm also going to show you how to do that. What you need is a concealer. Depending on, you know, the vibe that you're going for, you can do a concealer that is 3 shades lighter, 2 shades lighter, or your exact foundation shade. If you have made a mistake when filling in, now is the time for you to fix that. I'm going to coat my brush with the concealer like this. So make sure that it is fully coated with the product. And then I'm going to place this just at the brow bone area. Now, when defining the brows, you want to remember the outer corner rule that we talked about for where your brows would end. For you to know where to have the arch of your brow, you want to look straight ahead, and then where your pupil sort of ends is just the area, or is the exact point where you need to arch the brow. And then for you to know where to end the brow, just draw the same imaginary line from this inner corner straight up, or the end of your nose straight up, and then that's around where your brow will start. Remember, like I said, you don't have to use a light concealer if you don't like that vibe. After applying that very light shade, then you can use a concealer shade that is close to your skin tone and just use that to blend out the edges of that lighter concealer, so that way it doesn't look too like stark white and you still have that highlight effect in the brow bone area. I try to have the brows as neat as possible so that I don't have to go over the top area. But if you find that, you know, you have made any excess filling, or you've filled in certain areas that you didn't need to fill in, you can use this shade that you used to blend it out and then just define the top part. I don't need to do that for her, but if you find yourself in a situation where you need to clean up the top part, try to use like a shade that is close to her skin tone, so that that area doesn't have like a lighter line just sitting there. So I'm going to do the exact same thing for the other brow. and then just use that concealer shade that is your skin tone shade, and use that to blend out the edge of the lighter concealer and drag that towards the front as well. So you want to carefully use the tip of the brush and then draw light tiny strokes from underneath. Very lightly draw them upwards just to create that hair-like stroke effect. Don't forget to set concealer that you applied with powder. So when setting the one with the exact shade, you want to use a powder that is also her exact shade. But then for the brow bone area, you want to use a lighter shade to set it. I literally just picked up the closest powder to me, and that is what I am using to set this. And that is the finished look. Very easy steps to achieving full, fluffy, natural looking brows. Like I said, if you want me to do a tutorial on someone that doesn't have a lot of brow hairs, let me know in the comments below and I'll definitely do that. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Share this video with your friends and your makeup besties if you got value from it. Like I said, let me know in the comments below if you would like me to do a brow tutorial on someone that has sparse brows. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell icon so you don't miss any uploads. Till I come your way in my next video. Bye.